Drawing accurately from observation can be broken down into a few simple steps. The first step is to block or rough in the drawing lightly on the page using basic, simple shapes. Blocking in what you observe in front of you should be a fairly quick process, taking roughly 2 to 3 minutes. The first couple of times you try this will take longer, but the more practice you do, the easier, more accurate, and faster you will become at it. As you are beginning, always keep in mind the guidelines to create a strong composition. As you're considering the placement of the drawing on your paper, remember the rule of thirds: leading the eye, negative space, and depth of field. Blocking in what you observe is just that, using simple, basic shapes like circles, squares, rectangles, triangles, and ovals to quickly get a rough drawing down on the page. At this point, you are not focused on perfect accuracy or detail, but rather you are quickly getting close to accurate, basic shapes on the page that will later be checked and measured for accuracy with detail built on top of that. Complex forms that you observe in reality can be broken down into simple, basic shapes to begin with. Those shapes can be layered over top of one another as you build to detail in the drawing, making them appear more complex. Artists block or quickly rough in a drawing on their paper for several important reasons. The first reason is to create a strong composition. At this stage, when the drawing is only roughly blocked in with simple shapes, if the composition is not working, it can be easily changed and redone. The drawing only has a few minutes invested in it, so it is easier to change and more likely that the artist will do so. Another reason for blocking in the drawing as the very first step is that mistakes can be easily fixed or completely redone. If the artist observes that something is in the wrong spot, or sized wrong, for example, in the drawing, it can be easily fixed. Since only a little time was invested thus far, it is much more likely that the artist will erase any issues they see and redraw them. If they started by drawing detail in one section and had invested a lot of time into it, and then noticed that it wasn't working or was not accurately sized or in proportion, they would be much less likely to erase it and fix any issues. Yet another reason to quickly block in the drawing with simple, basic shapes is to ensure that the whole object or focus of the composition fits on the page. If an artist were to start by drawing detail in one section and then moving to a different section and doing the same, the composition they had at first envisioned might not happen. The drawing of the object could grow too big and not fit on the page, for example. Blocking it in first will guarantee that the drawing will fit on the page and be composed as how it was first envisioned. To reiterate, blocking or roughing a drawing in is using simple, basic shapes to quickly get an overall feel for the drawing, get a good start on accuracy and proportion, and construct a strong composition in such a way that changes can be easily and quickly made.